What's good? Woo. Make sure we on, tuned in. Let's get it once again. What's good, YouTube? We got a banger with this one. This the notorious Tucker Carlson talking to Matt Gaetz.
Getting some new
But before we get into this,
details on a U.S. Justice Department investigation into whether Congressman Matt Gaetz had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old girl, an allegation the Florida Republican denies.
before we get into that, oh my gosh, like, comment, subscribe. Don't like it because it is nigga. Don't like it because it is fool. Just like it because I'm in this. Comment because you got something to say about him. Subscribe because you want to see more content. Breaking down what's really happening. Even if I ain't breaking it down, I'm just getting straight to it.
CNN congressional correspondent Ryan Nobles is working the story for us.
Tonight, new information emerging about an investigation involving Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz.
It always happen out of Florida. Shout out Pam Bondi. Why is it always out of...
A source familiar with the probe telling CNN Gaetz is being investigated by the Department of Justice for possible sex trafficking and prostitution, including allegations involving a minor. All things the Republican strongly denies.
It is a horrible allegation. And
no gang activity with that at all. I gotta say that because YouTube. But anyways, my point is, I don't even know if that's a FL, but it's supposed to be a F up and an L, but it ain't no FL.
it is a lie. The New York Times is running a
Strongly denies.
It is a horrible allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with.
I think this is the part we've all seen. I want to see it again.
Allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records.
17-year-old woman. Listen to him.
And it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that
Trump said, I think Matt Gaetz is a great guy to be, he was supposed to be Attorney General? Don't say that. Don't say he was supposed to be AG. I don't know what he's supposed to be. But, I don't know. He's supposed to be in the cabinet. Alright, and this is the guy.
The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see that that is not the case.
Instead, Gaetz claims he and his family are the victim, the target of an extortion attempt.
On March
You're gonna get to see the video. I hope it ain't like they edited it to make it seem that way. But yeah.
He and
look at my travel records and see that that is not the case.
Instead, Gaetz claims he and his family are the victim, the target of an extortion attempt.
On March 16th, my father got a text message demanding a meeting wherein a person demanded $25 million in exchange for making horrible sex trafficking allegations against me go away.
Pensacola-based federal prosecutors are examining the extortion claim, according to the source familiar with the investigation. That is being handled apart from the other investigation. The congressman accusing a former federal prosecutor by name during an interview on Fox News.
His name is David McGee. He was a top official in the leadership in the Northern District of Florida as a prosecutor. He currently works at the Beggs and Lane law firm. As a matter of fact, one of the recordings that was made at the FBI and Department of Justice request occurred at that law firm, and the money that was supposed to be paid today that would have shown even more evidence of David McGee's work in this extortion scheme.
Gaetz also called on the FBI and DOJ to release any tapes of surveillance involving his
J. FBI building.
father.
And if the FBI and Department of Justice will release the tapes that they are in possession of, the American people will see what is really going on.
McGee's law firm, Beggs and Lane, released a statement denying the accusations against him. The allegation by the congressman is both false and defamatory. Mr. McGee was the chief United States attorney for the Northern District of Florida 25 years ago. During his tenure with the Department of Justice, his reputation for integrity and ethical conduct was impeccable. CNN's source did not disclose who was being investigated for the extortion. The interview with Tucker Carlson at times got uncomfortable, with Gaetz suggesting that the talk show host had dinner with Gaetz and a woman who could be at the center of the investigation by the FBI into Gaetz's conduct. Carlson said he did not remember the woman or the dinner.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of.
Quit the cab.
Or the context at all, honestly. But I would like to know who. So they're saying there is a 17-year-old girl who you had a relationship with. Is that true? And who are they? Who is this girl? What are they talking about? The New York Times.
The person doesn't exist. I have not had a relationship with a 17-year-old. That is totally false.
Even Carlson left the interview sounding confused.
You just saw our Matt Gaetz interview. That was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted.
Today, the most powerful Republican in the House, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy,
They hide it every time. They hide it every time. That's crazy.
called the allegation serious, but said he was waiting to learn more.
If it comes out to be true, yes, we would remove him if that was the case. But right now, as Matt Gaetz says, it is not true, and we don't have any information. So let's get all the information.
And as you can see, the congressman's political future very much in doubt. That was not a ringing endorsement from the House Minority Leader as they wait to learn more about this investigation. He did get support from a fellow member of the Freedom Caucus, Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio, who is the ranking member on the Judiciary Committee. In a statement to CNN, he said that he believed Matt Gaetz and said that he shouldn't be removed from that committee. But right now, Wolf, a lot of pressure on the congressman from Florida.
Enormous. Indeed. Ryan Noble's up on Capitol Hill. Thank you very much. Let's get some more on all of this. Dave Ehrenberg is joining us, the state attorney for Florida's Palm Beach County. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. So Matt Gaetz told the New York Times, as you know, that he suspects someone is actually trying to, quote, categorize his, quote, generosity to ex-girlfriends. If this was a 17-year-old, which he denies, how real is the risk of sex trafficking charges?
Well, good evening, Wolf. It's very real. Sex trafficking, especially when it comes to minors, is treated very seriously at the state and federal levels. It's
Saying this? That's interesting.
punishable by up
That's his
to
state attorney,
life in
West
prison.
Palm.
It requires a minor to be recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, or maintained, provided for commercial sex acts. And that's a broad definition. And as far as commercial sex acts, it's any sex act in exchange for anything of value.
You for whatever they can get you on. That's anything. Yeah, that's anything.
And that would include hotel rooms and flights
what makes it
and
so-
expenses.
That's what makes it difficult in a little tricky situation. Yeah, with all this stuff, you can't tell what's real and what's fake because they gonna get you with anything they can get you on. They will.
Things that Matt Gaetz has admitted to providing to his dates, although he is adamant that he has never dated an underage girl. So the federal prosecutors would have to show that it is indeed an underage girl, and he knew or should have known about it. He can't just put blinders on and walk away. And you've got to tie the hotel rooms, the plane tickets, the on and walk away. And you've got to tie the hotel rooms, the plane tickets, the expenses to the sex acts. And if that is not done, prosecutors have other tools in their arsenal. They could charge what's
To the sex acts. Like the expenses to the sex acts. He could assault said person and then pay for said person and not say anything later as cap.
known colloquially as statutory rape if it's found that he had sex with a 17-year-old. That's punishable by up to 15 years in state prison. There's also the crime of solicitation of sex with a minor, punishable by up to 5 years in state prison. All these crimes would come with it registration as a sex offender.
Gaetz claims, as you know, Dave, that his family is actually being targeted in an extortion scheme, even claiming his father has been, quote, wearing a wire at the FBI's direction. Does that make sense to you?
No.
Well, I don't doubt that his father is telling the truth when he says he wore a wire. I think that, though, we have to put that in a different category. Extortion is not a defense to child sex trafficking. It's a smokescreen, in my opinion, here, because you can have both these things, even if there is extortion here, and the evidence does not bear it out, but we shall see. It does not negate the crime of child sex trafficking. You could have both things at the same time. And also, if this is about a private lawyer who is representing a client who is allegedly a victim in this case, they're allowed to try to engage in settlement negotiations before they file a lawsuit that they're allowed to file, especially when the Department of Justice apparently has been investigating this matter for about 6 months. So it's not like they're going to leak something to the prosecutors if you don't settle. The prosecutors already have this information, apparently.
Yeah, and as you know, the federal Justice Department investigation, as you correctly point out, it actually began in the final months of the Trump administration under the then Attorney General Bill Barr. What do you make of that timing?
Yeah, I watched that Tucker Carlson interview last night, and at no point did he ever say that the investigation started under Bill Barr and Donald Trump. That would ruin the narrative, because one thing that Matt Gaetz is good at is political theater. Remember, he's the one who led the House Republicans to storming the SCIF, that secure room where depositions are taken during the first impeachment investigation. Well, he stormed it and they occupied it, had pizza there. He's good at political theater. And this is another example. They're going to blame this on a political witch hunt. You know, he made the allegation that he was even promised maybe a pardon from Biden if he played ball. That's crazy. I can assure you, Wolf, that if Biden ever issues pardons in 4 years, I would assume that Matt Gaetz and allegations or a conviction, if that ever happens, of child sex trafficking is probably not high on the president's list.
Dave Ehrenberg, thanks so much.
Talking about the party with the pepperoni, sausage, all of it. You was just talking about the party, but
For joining us.
Jonah, someone who's known Tucker for 25 years and worked at Fox for 12, do you, no world in which this is the end of Tucker Carlson in the,
y'all see it's getting crazy. But anyways, y'all see it's also getting wild out there on any front. But stay up, stay out the way, stay educated. Stay educated, you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to feed you what they want to feed you. Stay educated, for real. Know what's really going on. Anyways, love y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Like, comment, subscribe. Show me love. I always show y'all love. Peace.